All right. Well, 2012 finally here. Thank God. And after what we feel has been our most physical, our most, I would say, we tested ourselves to new limits during camp this season. We feel that we're prepared. With a couple of days more polish, we will be prepared to play on Saturday against a BCS opponent, our first opponent of the year in Duke, who last year beat us right here in our own stadium. So obviously a very important game for a lot of reasons, but certainly, when you kick off the season and it's game one, there's always a little extra to that. Jerry, how you doing? I go on and on about camp, but I think I've gone on about camp with just about everybody in this room. So I'll open things to questions and let it rip.
Mario, is there a sense of getting involved or trying to have your kids forget about the hype? The recognition nationally, favored to win the conference. Is that key right now?
I think last year it caught us by surprise after the first 3 games. I think guys continue to work hard, but what happens is if you have a stumble along the way, all of a sudden the hype gets magnified a little bit, and sometimes fingers point towards it as a reason maybe for a stumble. But I think with this year with the senior class, when that hype came originally, it was and the right kind of hype, guys being selected for preseason watch lists and stuff of that nature. I think the right kind of hype is embraced because you do need that for the growth of the program, the development of the program. A guy on the Doak Walker watch list, a guy on the Lombardi watch list, and so forth. But the moment you go to camp, when August 3rd came around, we work to a level that like hard work isn't even a phrase that we use to describe the way we work. We think we surpass that, and I think that handles it. That keeps you grounded, and certainly puts a focus on the right thing. So I think that's always important. The right here, the right now, as you prepare for the future. And I do think our guys have managed that very well.
Coach, the combination of Sean Renfrey and Connor Vernon did a lot of damage last year in the secondary. Have you been able to find a way to change what you guys did last year going into this year?
Well, some of it has changed. Some things you just have to do better. That's a great couple football players right there now. Looking at them last year, they had 7 big plays against us. 7 big plays, which was the most that they've had the entire season in their games. They had 6, 5, or whatnot. They hit 7 against us. So those two, their timing is off the charts. They obviously spent a lot of time practicing together. They're on the same page. And you hear Coach Cutcliffe speaks about the 2.8 seconds in terms of getting rid of the football. That's accurate. And if you get your watch out and you watch them on film, that ball is gone. And if you're not disciplined with your eyes, they'll catch you in what they do with their play action stuff. They'll catch you in what they do with some of their route structure stuff. They're an excellent football team. So we certainly cannot play the same as we did last year. An extraordinary amount of attention was put to helping us prevent big plays, following that game, and even before that game. We just had to do things better, and when that means everything. That means coach it better. That means work better technique. That means emphasize fundamentals more, and that paid dividends as the season went on. It helped our defense improve along the way. And now to start off 2012, we had the same matchup again, and it's one that it's a tremendous test. And it's one that you want right out of the gate, especially with a good group of seniors. So we're very well aware of how good they are and how good they can be. And our guys are excited about that.
Mario, offensively, you had about 600 yards, almost 600 yards against them last year. What do you see differently from your offensive team this year and from their defense? We
got to play smarter football because we have penalties. We allowed ourselves to be penalized. Okay, I want to be correct in saying that. We have to be a more disciplined football team, especially in the red zone, Jerry. We got down there a couple of times, and we didn't do what our offense is capable of doing. And when you get too many 3s instead of 7s against an opponent like that could really rack up some points, it can catch you, and it certainly did against us. But even with that, we got down there again to the 14-yard line with a little over 3 minutes to go and did not punch it in. So an extraordinary amount of time was invested in red zone offense and defense this spring and in the summer, as well as on as third down offense and defense, which also should have been that football game as well. We weren't as efficient as we could have been, getting them off the field and continuing our drives on offense as well. So when you combine all those things, you're looking at playing a more complete football game, which when you're playing an opponent like Duke, you must do to have success, especially at their place.
What was your last year? The red zone touchdown percentage wasn't very good. What did you identify as a couple of the problems
Short yardage was a problem for us last year, David. You know, we had been really good in 2010 on short yardage, and we also did a good job of putting ourselves in third and manageable in 2010, and we weren't as efficient. You know, so it's a domino effect. If first down isn't as good, it affects second down, and obviously then second affects third, and so on and so forth. So we always want to be in manageable, down and distance situations. Jake is a young quarterback, but when you play against this defense for a couple of years, there is some seasoning to that. We feel confident what he can do. But we want to stay on schedule and keep the sticks moving. And at the same time, I think, you know, the big play capabilities of T.Y. Hilton, you know, like we don't have a T.Y. Hilton this year. We have a lot of good football players capable of making a lot of big plays, but we don't have that this year. And the response by our guys has been excellent, and now it has to carry over to game day. They have to make the same plays they've been making in scrimmages and in practices. We believe they can. And no, I drifted a little bit there, but more specific to the red zone stuff. You know, the red zone, it's just a different field zone now. That thing's a lot wider than it is long. And to make it work down there, your spacing, you know, your timing, the distribution of your offensive players on the field, it's critical. It's critical to making sure that you attack their weaknesses and give your quarterback and your running backs clear pictures as where to hit it and hit it hard.
To follow up with Jake, has he gotten the message that he doesn't have to be a running back, that he needs to really look for his receivers and not try to create something where, you know, of course last season separated his shoulder?
Yeah, you know, he's a big guy. He's 230 pounds, and I think the message has been clear. I mean, we've chased him up and down the field, made him slide, drilled it. We've worked him live. One thing we do here, we do work live reps with the quarterbacks, and I know there's always a risk factor to that. But if they're not getting hit for an entire year, I think you can't expect them to have much success and not get rattled game one. So he's been hit, and I think, you know, our defensive line well enough. Those who've seen practice, they like hitting the quarterbacks a little bit. So he's done that. Jake understands that. Jake also understands that there are times where he's going to have to use that body as well and put it on some people. He just has to use it in a more efficient and a more, I would say, intelligent manner than just trying to run over everybody that he sees. But he is a big part of our running game, obviously. He keeps plays alive. Tremendous pocket presence. You know, he gets in and out of stuff, and he can get creative. And so we want to keep him playing football. I don't want to make him a robot. I really don't. I want to increase his longevity as a quarterback. And with that being said, oh yeah, the baseball coach has spent plenty of time with us working on slides this offseason.